Hi everyone, and welcome back to my tiny house in the forest. So it's been a while, but I've been busy with family stuff, having guests over, and doing a lot of self-sufficiency stuff on the homestead. And also installing a wood stove for my cabin. Here in the middle of September, you can really feel how the autumn is starting to creep in. It's getting more windy and rainy, the days are obviously getting shorter, and the sun travels over the sky at a much lower angle than what I'm used to. Casting a new light on my property that sometimes even make me feel that I'm experiencing it for the first time. But it also gives me some extra work in moving the solar panels around. Trying to optimize how much energy I can harness from the now ever escaping sun. After all, this is Scandinavia, which means that the days during the summer are very long and equally very short during the winter time. While I'm still in the process of getting settled in the house, I use my off-grid rainwater system down by the annex when I need hot water for the house. In this case, for when I'm doing the dishes. Autumn is also the time for harvesting crops in the garden and preserving them for winter. And this year I have more beans than usual. However, I won't pickle the beans this year like I normally do. Because who actually eats pickled beans? So this year I will try to do something different. So this year I'll try to dry them and see if that works better for me. Firstly, I blanch the beans very quickly to kill off bacteria, make them last longer and taste better. And then I instantly cooled them down with cold water to stop the cooking process. Before spreading them out in the trays for my dehydrator. Unfortunately, the voltage on the batteries was too low for this project today. A good thing that I have a plan B then, even though it's less sustainable. Finally, my new stove arrived, and I could begin the process of preparing for the installation. The stove is designed to stand no more than 17.5 centimeters from the wall. So I placed it at 19. Next step was to measure up and solder where the chimney will go through the roof. Then I used a folding ruler to draw a circle for the hole. And then time came to do an absolute massacre of my beautiful and waterproof roof. So I had to do this part again because of some irritating issue, but I will explain later. Finally I could finish the installation with the jewel in the crown. Alright, so now I managed to finally install the wood stove and the chimney, and it was actually a little bit of a troublesome process in the beginning, because I was a little bit confused by the fact that the delivery guy, who was also working at the chimney sweep company, he gave me this piece of metal that he told me that I needed to assemble the two different types of pipes, because you have the half insulated pipe and the fully insulated pipe. And then I tried to use that piece, but it was very difficult for me to do it, and it also meant that very counterintuitively I needed to switch the pipe above in the wrong direction, and it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So I wasted some time just figuring out that I actually didn't need that piece. And I talked with the chimney sweep, and he told me that it was a mistake. I didn't need this piece. So it just cost me a lot of valuable time, and then I had to reinstall the entire thing. But actually it is pretty easy once you just know how to do it and have the correct pieces. It is actually pretty easy to install a pipe like this. You just need to follow the requirements, and in this case I need to have 2.5 centimeters at a minimum of airspace around the chimney, and also the insulation immediately surrounding the chimney will have to be no more than 200 millimeters of thickness. So I needed to reduce the height of my insulation just around the chimney so that a lot of heat cannot be built up in the insulation. So I did that, and now I'm just crossing my fingers because the chimney sweep will sweep by later today and hopefully approve this installation. And then I think for next week I will start building a stone hearth behind this chimney, because I've been collected some stones that have like a good dimension for building up this stone wall. And the idea with that is that I want to have a medium where I can store heat from the wood stove so it can radiate the warmth back into the cabin at night when the wood stove has died down, so that the temperatures in the cabin will be a bit more evened out, because there is still something that heats the cabin a little bit during the night. And I actually asked ChatGPT if it was indeed something that would make a difference. I just provided it with some information about the efficiency of the wood stove and the weight of the stones and such, and it actually calculated and concluded that it is indeed a very good solution if you want to even out the temperatures in your cabin. So that will be for next week. And then for next week I think I will also build a wood shed on the backside of this house, because obviously I have the other wood shed, but it's not big enough for me to have enough space for all of the wood that I have taken down here on the property. But also you need like 3 chambers. One for the green wood, one for the wood that is seasoning, and one for the wood that is ready to be used this season. And the wood shed that I have down there only have 2 chambers, so I need an extra wood shed. So those will be the 2 projects for next week. But anyways, right now I'm just waiting for the chimney sweep, and I cross my fingers. I'm a little bit anxious to see if he can approve this installation, and hopefully he can, and then I can start heating up the house with my new wood stove. It took a couple of hours for the paint on this new stove to harden, and it smoked and smelled a bit. But the solution is just to burn it off by heating up the stove. And by nightfall, almost all of the smoke and smell was gone.
So that was all from me for this time. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it and maybe even found some inspiration. See you again next time.